Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on weekend and short cruises all the time. But right now I'm here on board the MSC Grandiosa for a special 7-night cruise out of Port Canaveral for me. So special because it's 7 nights, which I've literally not done since 2023. I've had 37 short sailings before getting to this one, and it's out of Port Canaveral. So I got myself from Miami all the way to Port Canaveral to board this ship because I've not seen a Meraviglia class with MSC. So super excited to be here on MSC Grandiosa, and I'm on the last day, heading back into Port Canaveral tomorrow morning. And I've learned a lot over these last 7 days. I've got some amazing best practices that I've picked up, pro tips, and so I wanted to share all those with you in this video so that if you're coming on here, you're not going to mess around like everybody else is. You're going to get straight down to business because you know these tips. Now I'm going to jump around a wee little bit. Hopefully these are going to be some very quick conversations that we're going to have so you get to hear the best practice and see, hey, does this work for me or not? Starting off with, you've got entertainment on board here. You're going to have the Carousel Productions. So Carousel is a location on board the MSC Grandiosa on deck 7 in the aft of the ship, which does a specialty theater style show. It is Cirque du Soleil at Sea is the branding that they are using for it. Cirque du Soleil has brought that onto the ship, and it is an upcharge of $18 per person. The show's good. If you are into Cirque du Soleil style acrobats, contortionists, they've got really good music. These are going to be shows you don't want to miss. Me personally, I only wanted to see one of them. I didn't need to go to both nights to quench my thirst here, if you will. And so I went to see Sweet, which is the way that I understand it from, senior members of the crew, that's the better one of the two. If you want to pick one of the two, go see Sweet. Sugar, you can hold off for maybe your second voyage on MSC Grandiosa, just to break it up a little bit. You're also going to want to sit in the middle of the stage. It's going to seem kind of unintuitive because when you walk into the stage, it wraps around to the very back of the ship, and the stage is going to face the aft. And so you want to sit in that small little section there because everything they do will be focused still on the middle. All of the seats are great, but those are going to be the prime ones. Let's talk about the best practices with the main theater shows. These are the complimentary ones that you don't have to pay an upcharge for. The first thing you need to note, and this is with every MSC ship that I've been on, they don't release their schedule in the app until about the night before. So when you board, make sure you go ahead and check the app, go into the daily activities, find the shows, or maybe go to things to know, look at the theater, and see what's already published. Make sure you have reservations for those. They do have a reservation system. The show shows 3 times. So you got plenty of opportunities to make a reservation, but it's much easier to get in and get a proper chair or a decent seat if you have that reservation. If you are Yacht Club or Blue Diamond, there is a priority line for you to be able to skip this as well, so you don't need to wait in the line. If you don't have any of that and you still want to go and see a show, they will have a standby line for you. I have always seen the standby line. They let everybody in. The problem is there's not always a seat. I promise you this theater is going to fill up. It's not extremely well designed from a flow perspective. The rows are quite long, so even if there is one random seat somewhere, it's going to be really difficult to get to, and you're going to find people standing in the back. So best practice here is make sure you're trying to sit in the middle of this theater. It is quite elongated, but again, everything's done at center stage, so try to get into the middle. I think the acoustics are also going to be better there. If you're sitting towards the back, which is where a lot of people like to go, know that those people that are coming in the standby line are going to stand directly behind your seat. And I've seen a few instances where they're quite loud. They're not recognizing that a show is going on. So for that reason, that's not going to be an ideal seat. The theater also doesn't have easy accessibility options, so it is going to have one entrance on deck 6. That is the only entrance to the theater. So if you do have a mobility issue, make sure that you're giving yourself even more time so that you don't have to walk all the way down the stairs, or you can find one of the more accessible or handicap chairs that you can sit in towards the back of the theater. This is also going to create some problems for going out of the theater. So you've got 3 different shows. They align with meal times, which are quick. So as soon as you are coming out, the next show has already started lining up, and they are down the promenade lined up. So you can only exit through half of the doors that are open. There's only 4 of them. You can use 2 of those to exit, and it creates quite the bottleneck. So the tip here is have some patience. If you can find somewhere on the outskirts or the middle where you can sit a little bit longer and just wait for everything to clear out, you'll probably have a better experience versus rushing out at the same time as everybody else, because it's going to take you a hot minute. Let's talk food. So breakfast here on board MSC Grandiosa, they're doing a lot of really neat things, I feel like, with breakfast specifically, and giving you alternative options to the buffet. The buffet is always where everybody wants to go. It's got peak hours. It can get crazy like any cruise ship's buffet, But the MSC Grandiosa is trying to be creative in where we can go. They're going to have what I'm kind of referring to mini buffets that they're going to put up around the ship. You're going to find these in the Edge Bar, as well as I saw one today at the Safari Pool, where they're going to have donuts, croissants, pain au chocolat, those kind of things. I wouldn't say that it's the healthiest of breakfast, but they'll have coffee, they'll have some orange juice. If you want a really light meal, that is a great option for you to be able to eat, and you'll have your pick of whatever you want. There's no line. You're also going to have outside of the buffet, in the pool section, you've got the bar. If you're looking towards the buffet, bar on the left, on the right-hand side, you're going to have a food station. That's where they're going to have all your hot food. So if you want just the bare bones, the bacon, the eggs, you want some sausage, they're going to have all that outside, and there's never anybody at this line. I don't know if people don't know that it's there. We walk by it, but nobody pays it any attention. They all go inside to the buffet. And if you want just the normal breakfast items, stay outside. And that means you can even get one of the tables that are outside and have an even better breakfast experience. You're also going to see that Hola Tacos offers breakfast. And so I did go there for one day. It's breakfast burritos. They had a smashed avocado with toast. They've got some croissants and churros, things like that they're going to bring you. But it's complimentary. You don't have to pay for it. And it changes the menu up. It does feel like you're doing something different than the traditional dining room or the buffet. And again, nobody goes to it. When I went, there was me and 2 other tables there. Like, I'm confident the buffet was packed. Hola Tacos, not so much so. So if you're looking for somewhere to go, this is probably also a good kid option because you can confine them a little more. I saw more families that were coming in here because honestly, I think that it just helped keep their kids from not running all over the buffet. You're also going to see that, you know, in addition to breakfast, lunch is always a pain point, especially on sea days. They are trying their best to get people to go to the brunch around the world, or the tour de brunch, as they're calling it. And so it is dishes from around the world that they offer in the dining room for brunch. I did not go to this because, I don't know, it just didn't interest me any. But if you're looking for a neat option, or you're not by the pool, you're already dressed and able to go to brunch, people that have gone have given it really good reviews. The food's solid, and it's quite diverse compared to what you're going to find in the buffet or a traditional main dining room. Best coffee. So while I'm on breakfast, I think coffee kind of fits in here as well. That's when most people drink it. Go to Jean-Philippe. This is absolutely the best coffee that is going to be on the ship. It is well worth the money. It's about $5, $3.50 to $5, depending on what you order. But it is so smooth. It is so good. I really enjoyed paying for the coffee here. It is espresso parosio or something like that. I have it written down somewhere. I'll put the video of it on top of this. But it is a really good coffee. It is different than the espresso you're going to find at all the other stations. So Jean-Philippe, you cannot use your drink package. So if you don't want to spend the extra money, don't go to Jean-Philippe. Go to the normal espresso. You will get a fine cup of coffee there as well. But Jean-Philippe is like a whole different level. Going into dinner, the main takeaway that I'd say here is go for the first night because the salmon poke bowl is just my absolute favorite. Like, if you don't go to any other night, I think the first night is the best one. On a 7-night cruise, something that I'm not used to, is you also get a lobster night. So they do a duo here where it's lobster and grilled shrimp. My pro tip is, look, the lobster's fine. It's cruise ship lobster. You're not going to be blown away by it. But the grilled shrimp were amazing. So I almost want to say, hey, hold the lobster and bring me more of that shrimp. Like, the shrimp was so good, I probably could have eaten 10 or 12 of those instead of just the 4 that they brought me. And you're also going to find the buffet is open late. So it's going to be open till about 1:30 a.m. And their late night buffet is not just pizza like it is on other ships. Yes, they're going to have the, classic pizza, MSC pizza that they are known for, but they're also going to have, some sandwiches. They're going to have a full salad bar. They've got fruit. They've got like a little mini buffet going on for late at night, which I really appreciated. I did walk in there a few times. I always said that it was just to check it out for you guys in the video, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't grab something to eat that late at night. So if you want something late at night to eat, I think the buffet is a great option. The next big tip here is make sure you are watching your phone, going to the home screen and checking out for daily specials. And so Jean-Philippe is where most of these specials are that I am referencing. They're going to have different days that they're going to say there's a discount on this or that. So there's like a Macron day. There is a espresso day. There's a chocolate day where they're going to give you 20% off of whatever it is that you purchase on those specific days. So if the first day that I think I saw was on the second day was the milkshake day. If you see it, it's 20% off. So all of a sudden that $10 milkshake is now $8. So if you're trying to hold back on money, make sure you're following the app to know what day it is today. If you wait until the last day, we don't have one because they assume that if you want it, you're either going to buy it, the discount's not going to motivate you. But do pay attention to that if you're interested in chocolate, macarons, milkshakes, or coffee from Jean-Philippe. So if you're like me as well, when you go on a cruise, you're not always trying to be party hardy. Even though I love a good weekend, I want to find areas away from people sometimes that still has bright light. I can pull out my Kindle, I can read, and stay in the air conditioning. I don't always want to be sitting outside as much as I love it. There's a few spots on board the MSC Grandiosa where you can squirrel away. So the first place you can go during the day is Carousel. There was one person I saw in there taking a meeting, reading a book. It is expansive. It has beautiful light coming through. It's air conditioned, and it's a really good venue. You're also going to have the Sky Lounge. So if you want to, again, have a more quiet, intimate space, this is a great place to go during the day. I think this is probably the preferred location because you can see out towards the pool area where you can read, enjoy. The bar will not be open while you are there, but it's a great place to just hang out. The other option that a lot of people don't think of during the day is the champagne bar. They've got chairs over by the windows where you can get out of the main walkway. Though I will tell you, I saw people kind of squirreling away just about anywhere on this ship. Like if you see a chair, you can probably go there and hang out for the day if you want to. But these are going to be my main tips to go. Let's talk about the movies on board MSC Grandiosa. So they actually had a really good lineup of movies. I've gotten to where I don't watch them as much as I used to. I feel like the quality of the movies has gone down over time. They're just not the blockbusters that they used to be. But on board this ship, they brought out some heavy-hitting guns that people really liked. So my personal favorite that I went to was Wicked Part 1. I had not seen it, and honestly, I didn't make it to the end because I got tired and left. But I did go and see it. You're also going to have the F1 movie that I think that recently came out, and you're also going to have Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny, which is from 2023. All of these were newer movies. The LCD screen is beautiful in the back of this ship. The quality of the picture is absolutely amazing. And so when I saw that, I was like, okay, I have to at least watch one movie. The pro tips here is they're going to take up all the lounge chairs. So when you're at the pool during the day, you have these lounge chairs everywhere. You would think you can go and sit in one of those and watch the movie. No, that is not the case. They're going to pick all those up, and they're going to leave you with the table and chairs that sit over on the side. And there's a lot of people that watch from under the deck 16. They're going to sit under there, and they're going to sit at the table and watch the movie, which is fine, but it's not your best experience because the speakers are outside. They're on deck 16 pointed out towards the pool. So if you want to hear it well, you need to be in the main section. So take those chairs that are by the tables, and you can pull them or move them to be in the middle of the pool deck directly beside the pool. Don't put them in the pool, of course, but it'll give you a much better angle to watch the movie, and you'll get a much better audio quality. So don't be scared to do that. You can absolutely do it. People caught on, I think, after the second or third night. Clearly, I was not scared to do this, but for F1, I think everybody had done it. You're also going to want to make sure that you bring a towel, a hoodie, maybe it's a robe from your room, especially if you're coming down in the winter. That breeze, when the ship is in motion or under sail, it can get a little chilly. I saw a lot of people having to leave and come back with more clothes because they didn't go up there prepared, and they missed some of the movies simply because they got chilly and wanted a jacket. Theme nights on board the MSC Grandiosa, and this is probably on a lot of the MSC ships. You want to make sure you are dressing and packing correctly. So when you are packing, make sure you are bringing 80s and 90s themes clothes. That is going to be one night. You're going to have a tropical night. So I think this was my tropical shirt just because it was colorful, but think Caribbean style shirts. You're going to have an elegant night, which on a 7-night sailing, people take seriously. I did see a lot of ties, a lot of suits. I was in jeans and a nice button-down shirt personally. And then you're going to have white night, which everybody goes all out for. I mean, it is head to toe all white. And it is a really, really nice experience to see everybody dressing the same way on the ship. So do make sure that you bring all of those different outfits. 80s and 90s, not so much so. And the other nights, those are your main four. The other nights are going to just be wear what makes you feel comfortable. I think it's more of a casual attire, but it's not themed. The next thing you want to make sure that you are doing is you are going to need to register a credit card or a debit card with MSC so that you can easily get off the ship. This seems to always be a contention for MSC. I don't know why it's so bad here. The check-in process and the app have both improved over the years, and it's much easier. Now I can just add my credit card at check-in. Years gone by, I wasn't able to. You had to do it on the ship. Now you can do it in advance. Please do it in advance. But if you get to the ship, you can do it in the app as well, or find one of the activation points around the ship where you tap your CPAS card, tap your credit card, and it is activated. If you don't have a credit card or debit card that you want to put on file, they're not going to allow you to buy anything. They're still going to charge you the service charges, but they're not going to allow you to buy anything until you put money on your account. They do have some bigger machines, and so that's where you can actually put cash into them to settle your account. So if you don't want to have a debit or credit card on file, do not worry. There is a way to put cash on, but the guest services will not take your money. They're going to escort you over to the machines to deposit that and settle your account, or add a balance to it so you can go shopping and buy some things like that Jean-Philippe coffee that I'm so in love with. But my best pro tip here is make sure you're watching the MSC Grandiosa full ship tour so you know exactly where you're going, you're not going to miss anything, and you know everything this ship has to offer. So if you're considering it or already booked on it, make sure you're watching the MSC Grandiosa full ship tour right here. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, hoping to see you on a weekend cruise soon. If you want to cruise with me, make sure you're signing up for the group cruise newsletter below.